Hola, mi gente, and welcome to
Stays Crunchy and Milk.
If you have questions or comments, queries, statements, or otherwise, we have multiple ways to be reached. Twitter is, of course, the best way for those that need instant gratification, and the show's Twitter feed is at Skimpod. That is SKIMPOD. That's where I like to fight. For the more patient amongst you, the email address for the show is podcast@stayscrunchyandmilk.com. That's crunchy being spelled with a K. We're available via Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, Spotify, and a partridge in a pear tree. And of course the website, stayscrunchyandmilk.com. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share the show. And a band plays on here at Skim, and to that end we provide you a Podcast, a musical discussion podcast built on a hip-hop foundation, and you know what? It's dope. Our personal Twitters are Tatum216, Lunchbox2099, your host, the Internet's Tayrell713, and me? Well, damn it, I'm the real ODP.
I woke up early on my born day. I'm 20. It's a blessing. The essence of adolescence leaves my body. Now I'm fresh, and my physical frame is celebrated because I made it. 1/4 through life, some godly like things created. Got rhymes. 365 days annual plus some. Load up the mic and bust one. Cuss while I puss one. My skull cause it's pain in my brain. Fame, money, maintain. Don't go against the grain. Simple and plain. When I was young at this, I used to do my thing hard. Robbing foreigners, take their wallets, their jewels, and rip their green cards. Dip to the projects flashing my quick cash and got my first piece of ass smoking blunts with hash. Now it's all about cash in abundance. Niggas I used to run with is rich and doing years in the hundreds. I switched my motto. Instead of saying fuck tomorrow, that buck that bought a bottle could have struck the lotto. Once I stood on the block, loose cracks produced stacks. I cooked up and cut small pieces to get my loot back. Time is illmatic. Keep static like wool fabric. Pack a formatic to crack your whole cabbage. Life's a bitch and then you die. Hello and welcome to it. It Stays Crunchy and Milk, episode 393. And I'm joined by my best friends, Tatum216. Lunchbox. Forgive me, I just rolled over you. My apologies. Lunchbox2099.
Oh, I thought we were just rolling with it after the first one. My bad.
And it's my homeboy, the real ODP.
Hey, I'm functioning on a little sleep, but I'm all caffeinated up. Let's go.
I am kind of sick of having to start these lately saying goodbye to people. I thought it would just be a rest in paradise for Robert Ross, a.k.a. Black Rob. But just as I was typing up these show notes, we got word that Gregory Jacobs, a.k.a. Shock G, but better known as Humpty Hump, has passed too. It's been 5 years since Prince left us. And, well, it's just a lot all at once. But rest in paradise, Shock G, the one who put the satin on your panties. A peaceful journey to you and so many others. But let's get it started, people. Let's try to laugh. Let's try to have a good time. Let me try to hang with my folk and see what's been going on with y'all. What's been going on with us. And let's do this. Gotta hit it running, people. As always, I present to you a smackroll of news provided by my newsman, the 216's own Tatum. And we will start with Ohio teen arrested for carrying AK-47 at Times Square subway station.
Oh, he was from Ohio, that guy.
It's from the good people at Complex. Joshua Espinosa wrote this. An Ohio teen was taken into custody Friday after he was allegedly found with a semi-automatic weapon at a New York City subway station. The New York Daily News reports 18-year-old Sadiq Teague was arrested at around 12:30 p.m. local time after he was seen near the ACE line with the rifle at his feet. Officers say they approached the man and confirmed the AK-47 was unloaded. They also discovered a fully loaded magazine in a paper bag within his reach, as well as empty casing shells and a gas mask in his backpack. Sources told the outlet that the latter item was marijuana paraphernalia. Oh, it's a gas mask. I get it. The teen reportedly told officers he legally owned the firearm in another state and was unaware that it was illegal to carry an unloaded weapon in New York City. His mother told the Daily News it was nothing more than a misunderstanding. I beg of the media to quit painting a bad picture of my son, who was misinformed of gun laws in New York, the suspect's mom told the outlet. He was visiting Times Square for the first time to see it in person. He was so excited and happy and had no other reasons for being in New York. Officers say there's no indication that Teague intended to cause any harm as he was taken into custody without incident. However, the Daily News reports that just minutes before his arrest, the teen had posted a profanity-filled Instagram video criticizing NYC. Fuck New York, he allegedly screamed at the camera as he walked down the street. I want to go back to Columbus. The newspaper also points out Teague's father was killed at the beginning of March during a shootout with Ohio police.
So,
Teague is facing 2 counts of criminal possession of a weapon in the 2nd degree, criminal possession of a weapon in the 3rd degree, criminal possession in the 3rd degree relating to an ammunition clip, and drug paraphernalia charges. I don't know. White kids be walking out in the streets with they long guns all over this country. Hell, shooting people and seeming to not even be arrested for it. Why does black kid get arrested?
I mean,
this is black.
not that I don't. I mean, think he should have been arrested. This is one of those rare cases where I kind of feel like, regardless of color, like that shit is not cool.
It was unloaded. He made a point to have it unloaded. Yes, the clip was with him. So if he needed to load it, he could load it. But also, guns is legal in this country. Second Amendment says so.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, that's my thought. I kind of feel like, not too long ago, one of my mother's best friends was, she lives in Cleveland Heights, and she said like a guy was just walking around with the gun. I mean, just an AK that's walking around the street with it.
Yeah.
No matter if it's loaded or unloaded, that shit is threatening.
Oh, like a motherfucker. I believe that. I think it's shitty that motherfuckers carry guns. I don't think guns should be legal. Second Amendment on some bullshit, in my opinion. But it is legal. So I wonder how the hell we catching charges on something that is definitely in this country hella legal. I don't know. I can't call it.
Yeah, I that's one thing I just have to concede to. It's kind of like, man, we just live in a sad world.
I don't even know what is like legal and illegal in a way anymore. Because like some shit's legal in some states and not legal in others, and then federal regulations on some things are different. Like I don't know. It's like. That's part of why, like, what makes me hate the state thing sometimes, because like, it's the brush isn't broad, so it's like I could be doing something legal in one state and go to another state and like go to jail for it, and it's like I'm not going to be looking up like local legality every time I go like traveling.
Yeah, like I got a good example. Like, they just made it legal for us not to have like license plates in the front of our car.
Yeah.
Is that illegal other places?
You have to look up your local ordinance. I don't know.
But I would think if I go to another place and I just have a back license place and it's from the state of Ohio, then that shit should curry favor. You know what I'm saying? They should be like, all right, that nigga clearly from Ohio. He ain't from Illinois, where it is.
He's not from Illinois.
Where you need to have a front and back plate.
Yeah, then I get pulled over in Illinois, being black. And like,
no doubt. Everything about this shit is a setup. Apparently, you can't have air fresheners in your car, which is something I just learned about.
Yeah, I got 2 air fresheners in the front of my car now.
What?
So, apparently, in many a municipality, having anything hanging on your mirror,
like baby shoes and all that,
could be considered blocking your vision and is considered a crime. It is the reason they used to pull over Dante Wright in Minnesota. And then, of course, they killed him because, she thought it was a taser. And what we know it to be is it's a fabricated reason. Just like that cop was trying to get you for something, anything. It was like, seatbelt, got you for something. That's what they do.
I mean, I was going to talk about it during my segment, but I can intertwine it here and just get it out of the way so people have some context.
Very good.
Sure.
So, what T was alluding to right now was the fact that 3 days ago? Yeah.
A few days back.
I'm losing, yeah. This past Monday, I went to go get my second COVID shot. And so I got the second COVID shot, and I was on my way home, and I didn't put my seatbelt on. Now, I do it sometimes, but in this particular case, I didn't do it. One, like, I didn't have to go very far, which I guess isn't really an excuse, but whatever. Two, my whole left arm was just fucking, like, sort of the touch. Mm-hmm. So I didn't particularly want a giant strap digging into my arm for 3 miles. So I was just like, fuck it. You know, a couple minutes, I'll be home, no big deal. So I get, like, maybe a half mile away from where I just got the shot at the local grocery store. And all of a sudden, a local motorcycle cop is on my tail. I had seen him turning by, like, a Sheetz gas station that we had, where, like, I made a left onto the main road and he was making a right. He was, like, behind another car. So I knew he was in the vicinity. But he, within a minute, ended up on my bumper. And now, I've gotten pulled over a few times in my life. One of those times was by a highway patrol officer, and he told me he pulled me over because I was following too closely to the car in front of me when I was trying to get over to make an exit. This motorcycle cop, in my opinion, needs to have a conversation with that highway patrolman because he was definitely following too closely on my fucking bumper. So I think what he was trying to do was intimidate me into speeding. Mm-hmm. Because we were in a 35 that at one point drops down to a 25. So I knew that, and I made sure to not speed at all, regardless of how close he got to my car with his motorcycle.
Yeah.
I thought about brake checking, if I'm being completely honest, but I did not because I didn't want the hassle. But he couldn't get me on speeding. Everything on my car is up to date. My sticker's up to date, everything. I have insurance. I don't have any outstanding warrants that I'm aware of. Like, literally nothing. So I get through the 2 speed zones, and I get to the main road where I got to make a left to finish my leg home. It's 1.5 miles from my house. It's basically the halfway point. I get in the left turn lane. The light's red. There's 2 cars in front of me. Motorcycle cop he stays in the middle lane, the go straight lane, and he ends up like a car and about a car's length ahead of me. The left turn arrow kicks on. The 2 cars in front of me go. I follow behind. As I'm approaching the intersection to make my turn, I can see the motorcycle cop has his head turned and he's staring directly at me. And as I'm making the left, I can see him looking to see if he can get over. Mm-hmm. So I'm watching my rearview mirror because at this point, I knew what the fucking deal was. He saw that I didn't have my seatbelt on, and he was gonna get me no matter what.
Yeah.
So I make the turn. The car in front of me, like, abruptly stops and turns into a parking lot, so I had to, like, slow down real quick. Motorcycle cop makes a turn, gets over behind me, and, like, within 5 seconds puts the lights on. So I stopped the car, turned it off, put the caution lights on, I roll the window down. And he comes over to my window and he goes, I pulled you over because I couldn't see the sticker on your license plate. It wasn't visible. And he goes, and you're not wearing a seatbelt. And then he asked me for my name. I give him my name, just my first name, mind you. He asked me if I have insurance, and I say yes. Then he asked me what company, I tell him. Then he asked me if I own the car. I said yes. Then he walks away, goes back to his motorcycle, comes back with a ticket, and he goes, well, I'm just going to let you go on the ticket because that's what, on the sticker thing, because that's whatever. But I'm giving you a ticket for the seatbelt. We didn't have any sort of conversation. Didn't ask me why I didn't have the seatbelt on. Didn't ask to see my driver's license. Didn't ask to see proof of insurance. Didn't ask me if I was drinking, if I had anything in the car, if I had any weapons. Literally asked me none of those questions. Just gives me the seatbelt ticket like he's doing me a favor. And then I leave. Now, the reason some people might not understand why this interaction like this happened in this manner is because of the state of Ohio, if you're not wearing your seatbelt, a police officer cannot just pull you over for not having your seatbelt on. It has to be part of another offense. So you have to have been speeding, anything else. Like, they literally have to pull you over for an actual traffic offense of any kind before they can write you a seatbelt ticket.
Yeah.
Up to this point, I had done none of these things, so the police officer needed an excuse to pull me over to get me for the seatbelt ticket, so he made up not being able to see the sticker on my plate, even though he had been following closely behind me for 1.5 miles.
Yeah.
And also in Ohio right now, there's currently a period on stickers where even if my shit was expired, he couldn't get me because we still don't have to have them shits up to date until like July. So my sticker literally didn't fucking matter. He just needed a reason on the body cam to explain why he pulled me over. But then like, oh, I'm just gonna let you slide on the sticker thing, but I'm gonna give you a seatbelt ticket. They do that shit because they know the seatbelt ticket's not a moving violation, so people aren't gonna want to fight it as much because it doesn't count as points on your insurance. It doesn't go against your insurance. So they know that they're just gonna get $112 out of me. And I'm not going to bother to go to court for it because in the end, they're just stealing $112 and nothing bad is going to happen to me other than I have less money.
And again, I just said it last week. When the only, restriction or measurement against you is monetary, then all these laws are just meant to fuck up people's money. They meant to fuck with poor people.
Pretty
what I'm
much.
saying? Because anybody else can pay this shit off, but when like I said, when the fucking, it's just bullshit. And
like it's literally the cities are trying to like siphon money off of us.
Yeah.
Because for the longest time, like during quarantine, there was hardly anyone on the road. I'm sure tickets had to be down. So now the cops have to go drum up business, as we'll say,
Yeah.
and make up. And it's like, I have to be honest, the city I live in, the motorcycle cops are all fucking dicks. Every time I've gotten pulled over by one of them people, they're always an asshole. They're always short with you, never friendly. It's always some bullshit. They're never fucking nice.
And it's like, it's just bull. Like I said, it's bullshit. So like now it's like I have to. No, I don't have any air fresheners in my car, but I have to tell my kid, yo, if you have a car, don't hang air fresheners on your mirror. Hang them anywhere else so they're not. You know what I'm saying?
I've got like 6 keychains interlocked together hanging from my mirror. Like if you go in my car, like
Yeah.
it's like all these different Venom keychains that are all intermingled.
Yeah. It's just, but now I know because, like I said, once that came out, when Dante Wright was killed, everybody started looking it up, and like every state, damn near every city has some kind of rule like that. But the thing is, like I said, I drive around, I see people with their
What about dash cams?
their disabled placard on the hanging on their mirror. You know what I'm saying? I see people with their
Where are you supposed to put that at?
you're supposed to have it in your dashboard. You don't put it up until you park.
Interesting.
You're supposed to have that in your glove box or on your dash. That always has made sense to me because that really does block your view. It's relatively wide, you know what I'm saying, and long. It kind of sits dead center on your thing. That would make sense to me. But you're right. Like a dash cam or my Easy Pass is like it doesn't hang per se, but it is right there on my windshield. I actually have it tucked kind of like behind the mirror so it doesn't block my view. Oddly enough, but it's like,
like they sell all those attachments for your fucking dashboard that hold your cell phone up.
yeah, it's trash. It's there, not literally because you're actually committing a crime. It's there so they can use it for anything else. Again, if it's just gonna be monetary, then the fucking law exists just to fucking hit as another way to tax the poor.
Yeah, because that's the thing. When he pulled me over, you were like gung ho enough about it to say that you were pulling me over because you couldn't see my sticker, which is more of that's a you problem. but then like you're trying to make me feel like you're doing me a solid by not giving me a ticket for the charge that you just made up to pull me over to begin with.
Yeah.
Like I'm supposed to be happy about that.
Also, you couldn't give me a charge for it because my sticker's up to date, or in your case, your sticker is up to date. You couldn't charge me anyway. There is no charge. That doesn't exist. God, I'd go to court. But that's because I'm petty like that. I will see your ass in court.
I already paid it.
I know you did because you're a good person and just wanted to fucking be done with it. But fuck, I see your ass in court, Mr. Officer, Crooked Officer. You gonna explain to that judge what the fuck was going on? God. Anyway, next story. Aunt sent me one story, but it turned out it had a link to the to the local site that had the story. No monkeys found in Cincinnati after multiple 911 calls overnight.
I'm glad they left after the way they treated Harambe.
Cameron Knight, Gene Hoke, and Sarah Brookbank, all of the Cincinnati Enquirer, I guess, combined forces for this one. Cincinnati police have located no monkeys following reports near the old St. Joseph Cemetery that primates had been seen, officials said Thursday. Officers investigated the area, but no monkeys were sighted. Police said at least 2 calls were received Wednesday night, but dispatchers were not able to make further contact with the callers. Hamilton County Dispatch reported receiving at least 1 call about loose monkeys and transferred the call to Cincinnati police. Police said no one claiming to own the monkeys has made a report. Cincinnati Police Sergeant Jacob Hicks said police have no first-person reports of monkeys being loose in St. Joseph Cemetery in East Price Hill and have not heard from an owner of missing monkeys. Hicks said the report may have been misinformation, but police are taking the reports seriously. Stephen Bitter, president of Cincinnati Catholic Cemetery Society, which owns St. Joseph Cemetery in East Price Hill, said the cemetery has checked its security cameras and saw no activity. Bruce Van Hook, who manages the cemetery, was there at 6:30 a.m. Between him and I, we have patrolled for probably the last 2 hours, and we cannot see anything that is similar to a monkey, Bittner said. The cemetery does have a flock of wild turkeys, he said. Wild
They're the same as family.
Wild turkeys nest in trees. So the question is, were they nesting in trees? But whoever filmed and put it on social media, it was thought it was through the power lines because you could see the power lines in the video. Bittner said that means the animals had to be in the trees in section 29 near West 8th Street across from Kilbear Avenue. Of course, with that amount of traffic we've had here now, if they were here, they'd probably been spooked somewhere else, Bittner said.
Spooks indeed.
The cemetery property borders privately owned woods that stretch all the way down to River Road about half a mile away, he said. The Cincinnati Zoo and other animal control agencies are aware of the reports and prepared to respond, but at this time it's unclear if the reports were valid. Cincinnati Zoo spokesman Michelle Curley confirmed with the Enquirer that the zoo was contacted about the incident. We are evaluating the situation to see if there's anything we can do to assist the Cincinnati Police Department. Nothing could be done in the dark, Curley said. All primates being cared for at the Cincinnati Zoo are here and never left. A video shared to Facebook was starting to circulate, allegedly showing the monkeys in a tree. There you go.
Man, the breaking news, we'll say, 19-year-old NBA prospect Terrence Clark died in a car accident about an hour ago.
Oh, no.
Geez.
Kid was 19, literally just signed with his agent yesterday. He was joining Clutch Sports, like LeBron's buddy's agency.
Yeah.
Passed away in a car accident in Toronto.
Wow. Way too young. Way too young. That's just a child. That's just a little baby, man.
Yeah, man, that sucks. Like, 19 years old, like, you just signed with your agent. Like, 3 months from now, you're going to live your dream, and a car wreck takes it from you. Like, that sucks, man.
Yeah. Oh, man. Blessings to his family, bro. That stinks. Woo. April 21st, you want to be a real bitch, don't you? It's too much, man. It's too much. Oh, my God. We keep it rolling, people. This one is right up our alley.
Okay.
It's from the good people at Popular Mechanics. It's by Haley Blatter.
All right, let's get into the sex bot talk.
The absolute best way to eat an Oreo, according to science. Sorry, no sex bot.
Well, I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
You could be a dunker, a twister, a licker, or a fast snacker who just bites right in.
Or you can be it all.
There are as many ways to eat an Oreo as there have been limited edition versions of the treat, forgive me. And more than 100 varieties later, including Brookleo, Limeade, and in China, hot chicken wing, there's still no consensus amongst consumers on the best way to devour Milk's favorite cookie. I mean, we have a technique that we've been using on this show for years. I feel like that's consensus.
I also feel like I made that hot chicken wing joke way before they actually came out with the hot chicken wing.
They be listening, man. They be listening.
Scientists, however, have a few ideas on how to maximize your Oreo enjoyment, and the Oreo maker themselves have an official recommendation. Perhaps the best known way to eat the Oreo is the classic twist, lick, and dunk. Any of y'all ever did that?
No.
Do you think of that as
not
the
on
classic?
the Oreo.
My nigga. I mean, have you ever thought of that? I mean, have you even thought, hey, that's the way that you're supposed to do this?
No.
Nah.
That never crossed my mind.
Yeah. Again, we have a technique here, people. It requires 3 Oreos, but it's worth it. Perhaps Twist Lick and Dunk writes Marion Delgout Sainin, Oreo's U.S. marketing director, in an email. And while fans might add their personal spin here or there, in our opinion, it's still the best way to eat America's favorite cookie. Still, food scientists and specialists in the field of sensory studies can offer some research-backed methods for gleaning pleasure from an Oreo. It starts with the cookie's classic combination of chocolate and vanilla flavors that are quite possibly what researchers call congruent. That is, combinable in a way that's pleasing to your senses. Congruence is difficult for scientists to measure, but in 2016, in the study of chemical senses, they note that chocolate's rich, warm, slightly earthy smell fits well with sweet tastes like vanilla. The 40 billion Oreos produced each year are predominantly sweet, but they also pack a certain amount of fat, and as a food scientist knows, sugar and fat make a winning combo. If you're aiming to supercharge your brain's reward systems, taste can be broken down into 5 basic components: sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami.
Umami.
And fat helps make Oreos more exciting to your palate than a straight up sweet fest. The combination of fat and sugar does something that is probably not addition, but synergy. Instead of 1 + 1 = 2, it's 1 + 1 = 4, says Linda Flamer, a senior research associate at Philadelphia's Monell Chemical Senses Center. The layman's translation: most scientists believe that fat plus sugar is super yummy. But Oreos don't mesmerize with taste alone. Aromas have a huge impact on the eating experience when you bite into an Oreo, Flammer says.
That is true.
Chemicals in the cookie release odorants and into the air and inside your mouth. These aromas flow to your nasal cavities where they interact with smell receptors and enter your brain's decoding process. Your brain is likely to find those smells delightful, says Charles Spencer, a professor of experimental psychology at the UK's University of Oxford. Spence says chocolate and vanilla are 2 of the world's most liked smells. Spencer's research, including a 2004 study in the Journal of Sensory Studies, indicates that another aspect of Oreo bite, the crunch, might also predispose nibblers to become fans. We humans like noisy foods. It helps us focus on what we're eating. When we bite into something that makes a noise that draws our attention to our mouth, so we're more aware of what we're tasting, Spence says. Be it breakfast cereals, biscuits, crisp, and even fresh produce like apples and celery. Food that makes noise can convey freshness. The soft snap of an Oreo's dark cocoa-rich wafer, in other words, could tell your brain that cookies are freshly baked. That is a lot going on there, and I'd like to just get to the answer, and how do we eat the cookie right? And as I scroll down this article, what comes with Oreo building contrast, juxtapose the wafer, cold milk might dull the sweetness, you know what?
What's their answer going to be? Not to dunk it?
The notion that cold milk might dull the sweetness of the cream and give you some exciting temperature variance in your mouth. But milk's textural effects on an Oreo are extensive. It is something I find interesting. I usually, I pour the milk, I set it up over here, then I go do other shit. So by the time we actually get to dunking cookies on this show, because I don't eat Oreos in my regular life. Like, I don't have Oreos about. I eat Oreos on this show, and that's it. The milk is oftentimes slightly warmed up, you know what I'm saying? Just a bit lower than room temperature. So I wonder if that helps with the thing. And would a real ice-cold milk matter? 4 categories based on how to manipulate food. Note you can intensify your Oreo enjoyment by identifying your own texture preferences. Here we go. But psychology suggests the best way to eat an Oreo might just be the way you've always done it. The cookie's form invites a ritual. And in a 2013 article in the Psychology Science notes that your food rituals, twisting Oreos, stacking Oreos, licking all the cream off first, might enhance your enjoyment of that food. I think it's
Took a long ass time to get to the point, but
it's very well researched for such a thing. But also, here's how we eat cookies on this show. We take one out the pack. We now this is what we do and have done every time since we started doing this. Get a pack of Oreos. Open the pack of Oreos. Let the smell kind of waft up in your nose. Then get in there and smell it deeply. We get in there, we give it a deep smell.
Each of us, we close it back.
Yeah, and pass it around when we're in person, and if we are in the pandemic, we all have our own pack. We then remove a cookie, bite that cookie, and get the and just please.
We always look at it. We look at
sure,
it. We inspect it
to make sure that they're not busted to shit and so forth.
Especially after I think it was Dan when we got those Oreos from Japan. And Dan was
they were wild clean. How the print was. Yes.
Ever since that was pointed out to me, that is always something I go back to. Was like, yeah, you know what? Like, look at, cause some got like those troll cookies had different designs on them, so did the Lady Gaga ones. Like, so we smell, we look, then we start our taste.
Yeah. And our taste process is as follows: to remove a cookie, bite that bitch. I rarely at this point eat the whole cookie. I truly just bite one and I put it down. Kind of, get a feel of it in my mouth. You know what I'm saying? Just a much. All right. Next up, we do the twist and eat the cream off the cookie.
Come on,
here we do it, right?
I'm laughing because I'm thinking in my head like, this is the same technique I use for women I like. I see a woman I like and then I bite that bitch.
We then I'm saying eat the cream off just so we can taste the cream on its own, because oftentimes the limited edition Oreos have some kind of flavored cream, something going on there. We then take a third cookie, and this is pretty much the only one that actually is probably eaten in its full. We dunk it in the milk. Each of us have our own soak methods. I go until it stops bubbling, is what I've learned. You know what I'm saying? You put it in there to start bubbling. So right when I stop hearing the little bubbles, I feel like it has reached a soak point where, and also, you know what I'm saying, I try to not dunk the whole cookie. I try to dunk, most of the cookie, but just enough to hold on to. So then when I get to eat the cookie, I got a little crunch going on, but also I got the milk-soaked wafer popping.
Dynamic contrast.
Exactly. And then we judge. and we are harsh in our old age because we've been eating cookies now for 8 fucking years. Guess what? We take this shit a little more serious probably than we should.
We're grizzled cookie tasters.
Indeed. And like I said, what's been interesting having guests eat cookies with us, because that's happened a couple of times in recent
They told
history.
us we're too harsh.
It makes me think on it a little more. Because you are correct. They have said we are harsh critics. But
somebody has to. For
real. And we've had enough people say, "Yo, I fuck with Oreos." We have somebody, anything Oreo happen in these streets.
I want to taste.
We are probably all near the first to know it. My family sends me Oreos. Any number of friends sends me Oreos. People who just, associates, acquaintances send me Oreos. You seen these? Y'all eat these? Y'all do these? And oftentimes it's like, yes, like 4 years ago when they first were released. Or, you know what I'm saying?
Or those were fake. We know the fakes and all that kind of stuff.
Bruh, I can call a fake from 8 miles out. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I had a friend that we work with. Like, it's like, I ain't telling you no more about these Oreos. You don't tell me they was all fake. And I was like, okay.
Like, quit sending me fake Oreos.
Fake ones. Yeah.
My man.
Well, I ain't gonna make you work hard. I just tell you who said that afterwards. You be like, oh yeah, I get it. I just text it to you. Oh yeah, we got a text right here.
Oh yeah, there's a whole little chat window we can take advantage of. So I'm gonna say the way to eat Oreos is how the fuck you eat your Oreos, and don't worry about science trying to maximize Oh yeah, I can see that.
That was my guess too.
Yeah. So, like, quit getting caught out there looking at fake shit. Damn, you can tell these packages. Again, like I said, I've been looking at Oreos for years now. I just, if you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Just you can, like I said, you can enjoy Oreos how you will, or you can enjoy them the skim way. And trust, we're very good at this. If you wonder how we do this, it is with practice, and like I said, at this point, years of practice, and just knowing how to take this shit on.
I have to say though, the S. Johnson voiceovers that I'd be sending you guys, that he brought up a compelling argument the other day about bringing back Oreo cakesters.
Oh, assuredly.
I'm a cakester.
I would enjoy. I would love to just have one just to see what it was said about. Because I don't have a clear recollection of cakesters, but it's just like a whoopie pie, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
It's an Oreo whoopie pie.
I very much enjoy that guy, not only because he's entertaining, but he's from our area.
Yeah, you said he was a local,
and like
I feel like if we hung out with if we met that dude, we'd be friends with him, like in real life.
I feel like we maybe I mean, I know this is behind the scenes. Maybe we should reach out to him. And,
I was about to say, how local
try to
is
have
he?
him on.
Oh, he lives on the east side, like Cleveland Heights or something.
Local.
Yeah, local. When he does the
like our zip codes start the same.
yes, he when he's doing the Popeye video. Yeah. You can clearly see him going down Warrensville Center Road. Like he's going down Warrensville Center Road to get on the 271 to go to the west side to the
yeah, he went to your Popeyes.
Wow, that poor soul.
Well, because the video was when he was trying to get the chicken sandwich.
Yeah, for the first time.
And and someone they told him that they had it in stock at your Popeyes. So he drove all the way to the west side to try and get it, and by the time he got there, it was gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I watched that video before Anthony had seen it. Because the one night, while I was working OT, I put on his YouTube channel, and I watch all his TikToks, and a lot of them make me laugh, and a lot of them he got me thinking about the whole milk before cereal thing. But yeah,
no milk before cereal. What?
He has this thesis that it's actually correct to pour your milk in your cereal bowl before the cereal, because then you get a better milk to cereal ratio.
What fresh hell is this?
Careful, T-Man.
You want to have
we don't want to ruin the friendship before it happens.
Friends can agree to disagree. That's the best part of our friendship.
I was listening.
99% friends.
Yeah, I was listening to another podcast, and one theory I agreed on is he said what I was listening to the Eclectics podcast, and they did a cereal draft. And he said, well, the guest he had on said the first rise of the cereal is when he stops pouring. So when you're, pouring the milk and you get that whoop, that's when he stops. Okay, makes a lot of sense.
Because by then, all the cracks and crevices have been filled with milk.
Yes.
Okay, let's just do this right quick. What's your cereal milk pouring technique, Daniel?
So up to this point, I was always fill the bowl with cereal, and then pour milk into it until I could see the milk. But having heard, the theories, I think I might be wrong. It might be correct to pour the milk then the cereal, because if you pour the milk in first, you get to determine how much milk goes into the bowl. Then you can fill that empty space with cereal without over pouring milk, thus keeping the cereal crunchy.
Oh, well, see, there you go. I don't like my cereal crunchy.
You're on a podcast that says stay crunchy in milk.
And to be fair, I named the show. T didn't name it. T disagreed.
I didn't name this bitch.
And I do like my cereal crunchy.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah. You weren't there for those first couple months, Gabe, but I didn't name this bitch either. I just showed up one day and they're like, this is it.
Stay soggy and milk doesn't spell anything out anyway.
Yeah, when I lead a podcast and I write diss songs about y'all, that's what I'm gonna name it. Y'all soggy bitches is gonna be the song.
So I pour my cereal, I pour the milk,
No milk.
and then when I see the milk, when the milk rises basically to just beneath the lip of the bowl, that's enough milk.
Yeah,
It's about a cup of milk if you want to do the actual measurements.
I can
I
see
guess I
why
can put the research into it.
Yeah, I can see why T wouldn't like that way of doing it because I do like my cereal crunchy or like I said with some dynamic contrast. Like
Now, the one caveat though is it would apply to most cereals, but there are a few for me that I would much prefer the cereal than the milk, like Frosted Mini Wheats being one. I need those to get a little soggy. I don't want those like necessarily crunchy.
Yeah.
I like those when they soak up the milk and they kind of break apart in your mouth.
I let I pour a bowl of cereal and me and that cereal probably not going tete-a-tete for about 10, 15.
oh no,
It's
you
hanging
like
out.
sludge.
Oh, that's
At that point, you're having cereal paste.
Yeah, you're having porridge.
100%. 100%.
To me,
Like how do you even know what CTC tastes like?
Oh,
You're eating cinnamon milk.
because I have had I'm saying I have you eat a couple of bites to get you like okay I'm saying but I like let me let that marinate and then I get to where I want to be at.
I don't have cereal enough. We don't even have some cereal in our house.
It's my
Right now.
the top the top of my fridge is like Seinfeld right now. It's just full of cereal. So
Yeah.
we keep it clapping up in this mode.
I remember when we first moved into this house, like one of the agreements that we made that was quickly broken was like, hey, 2 boxes for you, 2 boxes for me, on top of the fridge. We have at least 16 boxes of cereal up there. Like we got it on top of the refrigerator, double to the back.
Same. it has made an L around the top to the side of the fridge.
It's amazing to me that that's like the universal shelf for cereal is the top of the fridge.
Yeah.
It's like the person I sent to you guys the other day was hating about people putting deodorant on their dresser.
I was just gonna mention that.
Like, yeah, it's like these are just known things. That's where those things go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I don't understand where that person is coming from saying y'all tacky. Like, where else do you keep your deodorant? Like, it's easy access.
Top drawer of my dresser. My first top drawer on my dresser is where just stuff goes. It's like
I'll be honest, man. If I put it in the drawer, I'd probably forget to put it on half the time. Out of sight, out of mind. Like it wouldn't be intentional.
Yeah.
It'd just be like because like I have a hard enough time focusing when I'm getting dressed anyway. Like because it's the phone, man. I'll put the phone on charge, get in the shower, come back. And then it's like I come back to the room and then I'm fucking around on Spotify, checking text messages. It's like it takes me like twice as long to get dressed as it should.
yeah.
And then like I'm thinking about where I gotta go. If I don't see the deodorant, probably not putting it on. And like I said, I'm not happy about it.
During the pandemic, me and deodorant. Sometimes that's a sometimes life.
Yes, it's definitely. Now that I'm only leaving a house maybe once or twice a week, it's like I'm not really sweating that much anyway now.
Yeah.
So
And if you shave like the hair out of your armpits in the summer, it cuts down on the smell too.
yeah, I remember I shaved my armpits for a long time, and I remember a girl. Like, I guess I was disrobing in front of. And she was like, you ain't got no hair under your arms. And I was just like, I don't. I shave it. She's like, nigga, that's weird. And I was just like, I guess it is.
What did she have hair under there?
She didn't have any hair anywhere. I was wondering where that was coming from. I am a relatively, I'm not a hairy guy. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have hair on my legs. I don't have hair on my arms. I do have a hairy face and a hairy chest and a hell of a bush. But like that's as far as it goes.
You trying to get us a Manscaped sponsorship?
Hey, shit, we can use it.
with that. All right, I have one last news story to read, but I actually do want to. What's going on with lately? The world been like, it's like women have stopped shaving, so now they're like, well, let's see if we can get men to shave everything. You know what I'm saying? Get they bits all glistening and shit. It's like, what's going on there? It's like, quit trying to hustle us on.
That was a phenomenon.
It's interesting that everybody's.
That's probably because of the podcast we listen to. Like, almost, how many? I know 3 of them I listen to got Manscaped ads. What about you?
Only one I listen to that has a Manscaped ad is as of late has been. No, I pay for Doughboy, so I get it a commercial free. Oh. Newcomers, Nicole Byer and Lauren Lapkus commercial.
Yes, that.
I think. Well, go ahead.
No, I was just about to say. This season of Newcomers, I haven't listened to any of the other ones, but them doing Tyler Perry movies is very impressive.
It has been so refreshing for them to actually enjoy what they're watching. I have no desire to watch Tyler Perry movies, and that's no disrespect to Mr. Perry's work. It's just not my type of cinema. But them watching it, loving it, and pointing out how it's both not really they bag baby, but they love them because of what they are, has been super, super fun. And so I think that's just been a kind of good thing. I would tell you to go listen to Newcomers. Nicole Byer and Lauren Lapkus are a great team together. So that's fun. Let me get his last story. Italian hospital employee accused of skipping work for 15 years. This is from who is this from? This is from BBC News. A hospital employee in Italy has been accused of skipping work on full pay for 15 years, local media reports. The man is alleged to have stopped turning up to work at the Chioccio hospital in southern city of Catanzaro in 2005. He is now being investigated for fraud, extortion, abuse of office, Italian news agency ANSA reports. He was reportedly paid €538,000 in total over the years. He is thought to not have been working. 6 managers at the hospital are also being investigated in connection with the alleged absenteeism. The arrests are the results of a lengthy police investigation into absenteeism and suspected fraud in the Italian public sector. The employee was a civil servant and was assigned to a job in the hospital in 2005. It was at that point he stopped going to work, the police said. The police also accused him of threatening his manager to stop her from filing a disciplinary report against him. The manager later retired, police added, and his ongoing absence was never noticed by her successor or human resources. Chef's kiss, dog. You are living the dream.
What's so hilarious about that is, I remember when I used to work at the post office, one of the biggest things, and a lot of people got away with it, was like you had to like physically check in and check out there, at a station.
Yeah, like on a keypad or something.
Yeah, and I remember one of those things like, "Hey man, check, can you clock me back in? I'm gonna finish smoking this cigarette." Like that was one of the big things there. Like, well, or it was this guy named Jack that worked there. Jack worked at Magic City as a bouncer, and he worked up on the on this big machine that Jack had a stick for, and if it beeped, he'll hit it and stop it from beeping and finish pushing mail down with this big stick. That's all he did all day long, and he slept for most of the day. And I remember a couple times he just wasn't there. And it was like, "Hey, go to the ORC and push in 322." I'm like, "Okay." Man, tell your kids to work at the post office, people.
Hey, if you get a job in civil service, I always recommend it, man. So, but that is the news this week. We have really that was a heap and helping of news, wasn't it? Well done, gentlemen.
We had a lot of commentary.
But you know how we do it. I hit up my man Ant. First up, as always, is Tatum. And what's the good word from your neck of the woods, bruv?
Speaking of neck of the woods, man, I had a hell of an experience the other day. So I was at home, which, you know, I am most of the time. And I was going through some boxes from work. Um, you check our Instagram feed. I made a post about one item I found in a box, but I also had some other boxes, um, like from different purchases or whatever from the last few months. And I have a fire pit, and it's not illegal in where I live at to um, burn stuff in your fire pit. So I did that while I was going through the boxes in my garage. I had the door open. I was looking at the fire while I was going through my stuff, and I look up and like so much fire was all over the place in my backyard. Like
Oh shit.
it was so fucking scary. So like I live in a relatively like I would say is a rural area sort of. It's slightly industrial like by an airport and stuff like that. But like my street doesn't have like it's like three street lights on my whole street. There's like no sidewalks. Like it's in the back of my house is a creek, and like in the middle of usually like in your neighbor that's like behind your house is maybe what like a house length away. The neighbors who live like on the next street over, whatever the name of that street is, it's like it's like a long way. And in between our houses is maybe 100 to 200 feet of space. Like not even counting my backyard, like in the middle of these yards. And like there's just some trees that are like fell down and died. There's trees back there that the city have cut down and left. And there's also like limbs that like neighbors and other people have like pushed back there because we have a bunch of trees and they just fall down and they put it back there in the middle because it's just free space that back there for deers. So it was like so my fire pit is like in my backyard, and then like this little bundle of trees and stuff is maybe like 6 or 7 feet away. I don't know. Like, of course, like I said, I wasn't watching it closely, so I don't know how the hell it skipped like this big middle part of my yard or back part of my yard where nothing was touching, no fire was there. It jumped over that and was in that. It just went into the big pile of like leaves and trees and stuff. So I'm like, oh no, what the fuck do I do? So I got my water hose. At first, like I, started moving it around to break up the fire. Then I got my water hose and start spraying it down. And like one thing I guess I learned about fire that day is like, man, you can be putting it out with water and that don't mean shit. Like it just kept it just some parts just kept coming back. There was no stopping it. So I started putting it out, and then I started hearing sirens and shit. And then like a police officer started walking into my yard. It's like, what happened? I was like, I had my fire pit going, and somehow it jumped over there. He was like, okay. And then he was like, well, the fire department's on their way. Don't worry about it. Like, we'll see what they say. So the fire guys came. They was like, okay, we're gonna bring the like. I was, actively spraying it while I'm talking to them, and they're like, all right, well, keep spraying. We're gonna go get the hose. We might as well. So they got
They came all this way.
yeah.
Keep them in shape, knowing how to fight it, just in case anything's going on. That's real.
So they came back there. They sprayed like there was like you keep spraying over there. We're gonna spray here. We got a full tank. We might as well use it. So they came, they sprayed, they put it out. They was like they ran the water until the tank ran out, and then it was like, well, our tank ran out. Just take your hose, focus on this spot right here and that spot right there, and it'll be out. He was like, you said the only thing we worry about is like down in the creek of like I said, the creek of the ravine that's behind my house. He said we've had fires down there that have gone for days. That's the only thing we're really worried about. He was like, all right, and then he left.
So, do you get like charged for the visit or anything like that, or is that just like a city thing?
I don't know. The cities get charged for that?
Well, I mean, like like when you take a ride in an ambulance, you get charged for the ambulance ride. Like, I was wondering if, like, the fire department comes and burns a whole a whole tank of water on putting a fire out. Like, do you get charged for the water? You know?
I don't know. More to come, I guess.
Because that could have been their thing. Like, you may have had it under control, but they were like, well, fuck it, we got to get paid. So let's shoot this water out here, you know?
Yeah, like, because by the time they got there, I had extinguished most of it. Like, I was still doing it. Like I said, when I stopped to talk to the police, because, once the police come, you got to stop what you fucking doing and at least acknowledge their presence. So, that's... Do
you think someone around you called?
Of course, somebody did. So, yeah, I put it out for the most part, but, the one, fire guy, like, he, took this big ass like crowbar looking thing and spread some of the trees and stuff around, and it was an experience. That shit happened like super fast, and like I really didn't have time to really be like, oh shit. I had to react fast. It wasn't like I had time to freak out or say, oh man, you only got on really pajama pants. Don't be trying to run over there.
Was that your first experience with the fire department before?
Yeah, it was. Like,
I had a situation like when I was a kid. I was with my grandfather. I don't remember where we were coming back from, but like we came back to their house, and as we were pulling in the driveway, I noticed that like the neighbors had like a 2-story garage. Mm-hmm. Well, the house next door, no one actually lived there. Like some people passed away and like their kid inherited it or something. Like no one ever like really lived there. And they had like a 2-story garage in the back. It was kind of like a barn looking thing. And when we came back, we were pulling in the driveway. I noticed it was smoking in the back of it. Mm-hmm. So my grandpa called the fire department. They came. And it turns out that there had been an electrical fire that had started up on the second floor of the barn.
That's
garage combo. And they put it out, but if I hadn't noticed that and gotten him to call, like, who knows what would have happened? Like, eventually that shit could have went up and spread, and because there's like a giant tree next to it that was like behind my grandparents' garage, then that could have spread to hit my grandpa's garage and the house behind that. It's like it could have started a whole chain of things.
Yeah. Like
horse apples, man.
That's. I mean, I as a person with some kind of scruples in my head, know that like how easily and fast things can get out of control. But to see that shit like firsthand, and the fact that like I'm actively spraying the water with a hose and it still didn't go out, like some of it. It was just
it had so much to eat off of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All that dry kindling just sitting out there is wild, man. Yeah, I have 2 little fire situations. One, a candle on the coffee table, the circle coffee table we used to record around. Mm-hmm. Caught something. It was like paper near it, and it caught on fire. So for a while there was I don't know if y'all remember, but it used to be some mark on that table where it clearly had just caught on fire. So it kind of burnt the layer of shellac off of it. Yeah. But also, the house Xander was born in. So the house we lived at when Xander was born, when he was itty bitty, it had like a vent behind the stove that vented directly outside. And it was just a metal flap, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't really a vent, but it was like a dryer vent almost, if you will, but it was behind the stove. And like I put some oil on to fry something up, and I left it to, because we just heating oil up. And I don't know what I heard, but I go back in the kitchen and just a raging fire. The oil probably had ran down the side of the pan. The air from outside just kind of blew in and caught it and churned up a whole fire. And so I'm like, how the fuck would I put this fire out? And like I'm bugging out because I'm like, this might be a real thing. So I'm like, I had to send my ex-wife and I'm like, get the baby, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? I had to get them on their way just in case. And I'm like, what the fuck? How do I do this?
I think you smother a grease fire, right?
You do smother grease fire, and goddamn sense came to me and your boy. That's when I had cats at that point in time. Had a whole bucket of kitty litter. Boom, hit that bitch the kitty litter, smother the fire. But at that
Fresh
point,
kitty litter, I hope.
it was indeed fresh. It was a fresh kitty litter.
Smother
the fire.
Gross.
It had.
It's better gross than a big old fire.
It had ruined the stove, of course, the stove top. It had ruined. There was a wood cabinet above the stove top. You know what I'm saying? You know, the cabinet. So that had been burnt. The stove, the countertop next to it was burnt. And like the fire people came in and they were like, and they hit it with just an extinguisher. The thing that was above. They had to poke that bitch with a stick because you know they always had them fire pokers. And they hit it with the because it was like it was still smoldering and I didn't realize it. You know what I'm saying? I put the fire out here, not realizing there was more fire potential above the stove. Because I just like, whew, Lord, I got this. You know what I'm saying? I stopped the fire and I didn't burn down this apartment that I live this duplex that I live in. And ended up cleaning the house myself and fixing the problem myself, replacing the stove and all that good shit for the landlord, who was a bit of a cunt. And if she was a dude, would I call her a cunt? No, I wouldn't have. So I rescind that statement. But she was a bit of an asshole. And I'll call her that and just let that walk. Because she was like, well, what you gonna do to fix it? I'm like, you son of a... This fire is your fault because you got this stupid weird vent sitting behind the stove that none of us knew existed until all of a sudden it just licked up an entire fucking fire. But...
Are we not allowed to use gender-specific insults anymore? Is that where we are?
I felt bad about saying it, so that's me.
I mean, that one was a bit sharp. I understand. I thoroughly enjoy that one, but I keep that in the holster for special occasions.
Yeah.
So to go back to the cunt, like, when did you realize that was a bad word?
I feel like I've always known, but that's because I used to, as children, we used to go through it like, let's list the profanities, let's get this locked down on how we use them and what we do with them. So I've been studying profanity since I was old enough to know that profanity was a bad thing. So,
I literally didn't know that was a bad word until I knew you.
Is it bad when describing the area?
No.
Or is it only bad when describing a woman?
I had never heard that.
Wait. So if describing the area is cut the cock of private area.
That was my thing. Like, it's just like it's like a dirty or veg, right? Because like you're like Britain and shit. They call each other cunts all the time. It's like where's. Is it it goes across the ocean and all of a sudden it's a bad thing?
But I don't feel like I've heard cunt come up in porn. I've never had a lady tell me to do something to her cunt. So I don't know if it comes up like you think it would.
I mean, it
doesn't exactly roll off the tongue.
Yeah,
I think it's more in the dirtier films. Yeah, I think it's more in the dirtier films.
Yeah, I hadn't, like I said, I probably heard that word in like some like old pornos, like really old, like Ebony Eyes. And then, like I said, I never heard anybody say it in my house, and I got my uncles don't hold words. So it's not like I didn't hear any other cuss word. I probably heard every cuss word in the book. My dad let me watch, or I could watch or listen to whatever I wanted to when I was with my dad. Never heard that word. We were at work, and I just remember like a guy I used to hang out with all the time was like, he had said it, or no, I think we were listening to like Opie and Anthony or something like that, and he had mentioned like, "Oh, that's the worst word you can say." I was like, "What's the worst word you can say?" And he was like, "I'm not gonna say it." And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." He said, "You know the C word." And I was like, "What? Ain't no C word. Stop playing with me, man. Just tell me what you." And he's like, "Cunt." I was like, "I've never heard that. I never heard that as being a bad word before."
I can say I have heard it bandied about in conversation by parental people.
No. Well,
I wouldn't say it was a common thing growing up. Probably more of my teen years. I remember it. My 20s. I not like maybe like one or two specific people in my life. But like I have heard it. I've consumed it in media. I've seen it bandied about on social media. Like
but like growing up, besides home, where did you hear it?
Yeah, that wasn't really used on the playground. I think back then we just called women bitches.
What about you,
Oh my
Gabe?
God! Could you imagine what a teacher would do? Danny called me a cunt, Mrs. It'd be a real problem, man.
Well, were you being a cunt?
That's amazing. Well,
I think it maybe is more of a white suburban word because I heard it a lot. I got one friend who just loves to use it. He'll be quick to call a woman that if they get out of line. That sounded wrong. If they get out of line in his perceived perception.
I have someone in my life who uses it like a gun on his hip, like in a holster. Just like, oh, you're pissing me off. Pow, cut. Does he firing them off? Cut.
Oh, shit!
Yeah, my friend has it on
that bitch. Cut.
Yeah.
My friend has it on a hair trigger.
Oh shit! Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard that amongst black women. That does seem to be of the white variety. I remember there's an episode of 30 Rock where that came up, and Liz Lemon was mad because she said there's no real comeback to that. You know what I'm saying? That was her anger about that situation. When somebody pulled that one out, you can't really clap back. There's nothing as potent as that comes the other way. So
There really isn't.
it might be the N word of profanities for women.
You know what?
A specific branch of women.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like, if I like was to ask one of my cousins that, or like, how do you feel about it? They'll probably be like, that's probably the third time I've heard that word in my life. Because me and my girlfriend talked about it. Like, that's why I brought it back up, because we talked about it the other day. I'm like, how many times had you heard that word before? And she was like, I didn't even know it was a cuss word.
Oh my God!
I'll apologize to all our listeners who that word offends.
Yeah,
but
because we just blasted it off like 50 times in the last couple minutes.
Yeah, but like I said, I legitly didn't it's not in my it's never been in my cabinet at home. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, we were a GIF family. I never had Peter Pan.
Man, you're missing out.
Peter Pan, peanut butter.
I don't really have a preferred peanut butter name brand. I like Smuckers, I like Jif, I like Peter Pan.
Do you like Goobers?
I loved Goobers.
God, fuck no. Ugh.
You're angry about
the
that.
The very notion of it is disgusting because it had to be
the C word of peanut butter for tea.
For that shit to be shelf stable. I can't even imagine the amount of preservatives necessary to be in that shit.
Oh, it's not really jelly.
It's
That's
not
the
jelly.
thing.
It's like
it's not jelly.
Do tell.
No, it's just
some sort of high fructose corn syrup amalgamation of science.
Yeah, it's just probably just corn syrup and flavoring. It's probably it's absolutely no fruit to that. It's just purple. It's purple and brown. That's all it is.
Then
they add strawberry too.
You
purple and red.
I didn't know that. I am a Jif natural man as
Yep.
time is going on.
Jif
That is my
natural.
peanut butter of choice. And that is because I was trying to exit out HFCs out my life just in general. And they use molasses in that as opposed to high fructose corn syrup. So that's why I choose that. And it's my go-to peanut butter. So any peanut butter treat you get from me has been made with Jif natural.
Okay. Ground roasted peanuts, grape juice, high fructose corn syrup, and dextrose.
Why do you have to double it?
Well, because one's high fructose and the other one's just regular.
I need a little more fructose.
This one goes in this arm.
They need,
Yeah.
yeah,
And then I shoot
they
up
need
the other
THC.
shit in between my toes.
So yeah, they literally just take grape juice and mix it with corn syrup, and that's your jelly.
I used to get excited when I was a kid. My mom would get that shit.
I mean, probably,
Oh man,
probably back then they probably didn't have high fructose corn syrup, man. It was just probably it's probably just all the rice back then.
it was a treat getting that shit because you could just eat it straight out of the jar. You didn't have to have two jars. And the peanut butter had a little grittiness about it because it was mixed in. Like the consistency was a little different.
Yeah.
It was kind of like getting the peanut butter out of the Reese cups in a way where it had its own kind of feel.
Yeah, I wish they
Goober
made
was
that shit.
definitely a spoon situation. Like when we had it in our house, it wasn't a
Sandwich making
spreadable
thing?
Yeah, it was kind of like you got a spoon, I got a spoon. We meet on the couch.
Nice. All right, respect due to the Goober gang. Box, you kind of have already managed to tell your story just by way of our general
That was by design.
our general discussion. So I believe you're clear.
I fulfilled my podcasting duties.
Young Gaby, what do you want to bring to the show tonight, if anything?
Well, didn't we have a movie to discuss?
Oh shit, man! I forgot all about that fucking shit.
Did you not watch it?
Yeah, I did. I literally watched it. I finished it before we started doing this. So yes, it is fresh in my mind.
Okay. Since we're Box is tired, I'm in pain. Let's wrap it up with that. Well, not
What?
wrap it up because we got our traditional wrap up.
As we discussed on last week's episode, we are once again going to review a movie this week. I don't know if this is a permanent addition to what we do, but this week, as discussed last
It's been
week,
fun.
it is Coming to America, the number 2, because this is the sequel to the OG, Coming to America. We watched this. It's available on Amazon Prime. Let me tell you something. Before we get into that, yesterday, I because I knew I had today off, I was up late and I was like, man, let me see what this Ted Lasso is about. I'm always hearing about, which is on Apple TV Plus. And I got Apple TV. I got 6 months or a year of Apple TV Plus for buying my iPad. And I was like, well, I got this shit for free. I guess I should use it. So I finally set it up. Apple TV Plus showed up in my apps on my TV recently. So I was like, it's right there. Let me just hook it up. So I went ahead and signed up for it. And I started watching Ted Lasso last night, which is an Apple TV Plus exclusive show. And it was fucking amazing. It was everything.
What's it about?
I'm gonna get you there. It's everything people have been talking about this whole time, and more. And I actually don't. I do believe I'm going to end up giving it a rewatch because that's how good it was, and I want to see if I missed some jokes and pick up on some things. Ted Lasso is about a Division II college football coach moving to England to coach a Premier League soccer team, having had no experience coaching soccer. He goes over there with his assistant coach from football, and they go over there in their mind with the intent of coaching Premier League soccer, professional soccer, and just a real fish out of water story. But it ends up being just wonderful, just pleasant, funny, well written. Ted Lasso. And so when I was watching it, so a couple things happened to come up. One, I noticed it said based on a concept and character from NBC Sports, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Because it turns out some years ago when NBC Sports first got Premier League soccer, Ted Lasso was a character that showed up to help them advertise that product. You know what I'm saying? In just some 2 to 4 minute ads. Jason Sudeikis played Ted Lasso, an American who didn't understand football. Soccer, football. In many places in the world, but
You
soccer.
gotta get that straightened out one day.
It's bullshit. Don't worry about it. So they took that character that they invented and even used a couple of jokes from those videos in the pilot episode, and it just works. It worked so well. It was so good. It was so funny. Super diverse cast. Just a fun cast of characters in general. With as many people as in that show, they still make it work. It was fantastic. If you can figure out how to work Apple TV Plus, because it might be on your TV or whatever like that, and I think it's like $5 or $6 a month. I would say if you can just get you a trial. It's 10 episodes for this first season. It was fantastic. Well worth it. Go watch Ted Lasso. Also, I think I noticed in the credits was Bill Lawrence, who show ran and wrote Scrubs, is who does Ted Lasso. And so I knew immediately where the heart came from. I'm like, oh yeah, I used to love Bill Lawrence's work. He's a great guy, and so he just is, and he's still good all these years later. So I had a very, very, very good time with Ted Lasso and tell you to watch it. As for Coming to America, nowhere near as good as the first one to me, but way better than people have made it out to be. People have been so mean to this movie, and I'm just like, even us, because when Anthony first heard what the movie was about, we was mad as fuck about it. Like, what the fuck you mean? How are you gonna do that? But then they perfectly well enough explain they explain what they explain what happened and how Prince Hakeem ended up with an illegitimate heir to the Zamundan throne. And
He really did get raped.
yes, he did. He
They really glanced over that.
He smoked the devil's lettuce. And it did not seem like she was like, "Ooh, I'm about to rape this motherfucker." It did seem like she thought they were just having a good time. They were getting high and having a good time. But he was high out of his mind and did not know what was happening and didn't really remember what happened because, again, smoking that devil's lettuce, he ain't know no better.
He never had it before. So what I guess.
Yeah.
They have weed in Africa. How come he's never heard of it?
You have no proof of that. You just said that like you know that shit, and you don't know that shit.
But yet again,
I thought it.
like for you to think that they don't have weed in Africa, like that's a no-win situation right there.
That's true. You don't know that shit. You said that shit like you know that shit. You don't know that they don't have weed in Africa.
You don't know that they do. I don't know that they don't. There you go.
We guess they don't know it. They don't have it in Zamunda.
You don't know what kind of shit's happening to the weed crop with the vibranium around?
I bet you be fighting with lions and tigers and shit.
Man, I wish they would have brought Eric LaSalle back. That was one of the things I was mad about.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. It had a lot to live up to. Like Coming to America. Coming to America is God, that's confusing.
The original.
The original is like.
Hold on. African farmers have been growing cannabis in Africa for centuries.
And the Puerto Ricans got it right.
Nevertheless,
yes.
Consumption of the plant for either medical or recreational purposes is banned almost everywhere on the continent.
Oh.
Recently,
man was right.
however, the growing global demand for medical cannabis has caused several African countries to rethink their cannabis cultivation laws. So,
Zamunda is kind of backwards. They don't even let women own businesses.
For real. Okay.
Oh, man. Let me get a bag of that Simba.
Bag of that Simba.
Oh, my God.
Could you imagine getting the Rafiki?
The inspiration...
crazy.
The inspiration for King Mufasa made me laugh hard as hell. This movie had its moments.
Yeah, it did have its moments. It's just... You have, like, a nearly perfect movie, and it didn't need a sequel. So
which
it was
they
a lot...
which they made a joke about.
They did make a joke about that.
Yeah. So,
which I feel like if you got to go and do that, then like like why are you doing this?
because it was supposed to come out in the theater, and it definitely would have grossed easily $125 million. Black folk would have went to go see this shit in droves. White folk would have went to go see it because black folk was seeing it. It would have done great. But let's go to it. The movie starts in Zamunda.
Oh, spoiler alerts going forward now.
It's the 30th anniversary of Eddie Murphy and
Lisa.
Oh shit! Lisa Akeem and Lisa having been married. They have 3 daughters who are awesome and kick ass, and King Joffrey Joffer is sick, and he knows his time is short, so he talks to Hakeem about marrying off his oldest daughter. As is required, you know what I'm saying? As required by Zamundan law. But he said, but before I die, let's have my funeral right now while I'm still alive so I can see how cool it is. He has a funeral. They have a funeral for Joffrey, King Joffrey. VO worked by Morgan Freeman himself, which is amazing. So, because they had the 2 best black voices in the game in that movie. Yeah, they could have just went tete-a-tete freestyling off each other. In Vogue.
Did you notice?
Yeah.
Did you notice when they had ZNN, Zamunda News Network?
Yeah.
It was voiced over by James Earl Jones.
I did, which is great because, of course, the king would have voiced over the nation's news network. In Vogue shows up with Salt and Pepper doing a cover of What a Man, which was amazing. I was like, wow, look at all these people still here, still standing, still strong. But by the end of that scene, the king actually does die, laying in his coffin, and we have to say goodbye to James Earl Jones' character all these years later, and it's sad. And so we have to, we let that go. But in the meantime, the castle is under siege by Wesley Snipes' junta, his military operation come through, guns blazing, talking about, you fucked my sister over because you didn't marry her the first time. You know what I'm saying? She's still barking like a dog all these years later, which was solid bit, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? It's good to see that all these years later.
Vanessa Bill Conaway, still looking good.
Yeah, for sure. Also good to see Wesley Snipes just acting a fool. He indeed was acting, but it was fun to see him just acting a motherfucking fool. That was great. And basically he come to Akeem like, look, man, my son can marry your daughter, and we can call this shit cool, or it can be a motherfucking problem for you. Oh, you know what? But before James Earl Jones died, he had told Hakeem, I found out because he said, you know what I'm saying, you can't be, basically he was like, I don't want to just marry my daughter off. You know how this goes. In Zamunda, we want to marry for love, not for no bullshit. But he tells him, nah, man, I found out you have a son. And this Rafiki-esque character comes through and says, I have seen it in a vision, and you have a son, and so forth. So I was like, who the fuck is this dude? Did y'all know who that dude was?
Arsenio Hall.
I didn't know that shit, because you know what I'm saying, until of course you see the credits. I was like, who the fuck is this actor? This dude is amazing. That voice is fantastic. That way he looks. And that is Arsenio Hall playing that Rafiki-esque character who has found through a vision to look for the Thunderbird to find their son. And so after the king has died, and after Wesley Snipes has basically threatened him, he like, I got to go get my kid from America, and so let's head out and go collect this kid. So they head back to Queens, and they're like, man, Queens has really changed, and except for the barbershop where Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, and the one guy playing all these multitude of characters are still in that barbershop all these years later.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy's childhood friend.
Yeah. That shit was funny as fuck when he was like, So they making all these African jokes, but then the motherfucker in the barber chair says, "Oh, what about the ones with the flies on their face?" And they was like, "Hold on, man, you can't be doing that."
Hey, it's Kunta Kinte.
Hell yeah, he said Kunta Kinte again. That was fantastic. But he was like, "You can't be making jokes about that, man. Get on out of here." And then he handed him the money. He go, "Don't be handing me this money all hard." You know what I'm saying? I said I cannot break down this whole movie. That's just too much time.
When
it works, that shit is so good. It hits such high highs that you're like, holy cow, that was really good. When it misses, man, it misses so goddamn wide that you just like, I don't know, man. What was going on here? Who did you have writing on this?
Yeah, one of the when the kids are fighting and one of his daughters do the flip and her wig come off. That's not good. Wesley Snipes, I think he was a bright spot, but
I like Wesley Snipes in it. Yeah,
Tiana Taylor, I feel like her part.
That was my favorite part.
I like her, but I kind of feel like her part was a little bit. I think
it's redundant.
Yeah, it could have been written better. As she probably wouldn't do the same thing her aunt did, like Vanessa Bell Calloway. I don't think that. But hey, I'm sitting here talking to y'all. I don't got no writing job. I ain't punching.
Well, no, but wasn't that the point though? That the other. What are we calling them? Civilization, other city, other group of people. Yeah. They didn't progress in the same way that Eddie Murphy's character was intended to progress their city. So it would stand to reason that Tiana Taylor's character would be almost exactly like the other character in that she's meant to be a trophy piece because they haven't been taught that they can do other things.
I do get that, but okay, so Tiana Taylor is. I mean, this is just my opinion, and she's a name. I don't even know who that girl was that played the love interest for the other dude. Yeah. I kind of feel like wouldn't it have been a more interesting thing that's
it's cute as hell though.
Yeah, she was very. I don't think it was an unattractive woman in this movie, but I certainly have a thing for Tiana Taylor. I just kind of feel like she's the name. She's a little bit of a draw. Have her be the love interest and I don't know. And more, I just thought that would have been more interesting in the movies. Have her be the actual love interest because their families don't get along.
Yeah, could have been a real Romeo and Juliet situation.
Yes.
Yeah, I get that. That would have been that's a punch up I think I would have enjoyed. Him learning about Zamundan history from his now sisters, you know what I'm saying, his half sisters. Him learning of his older sister kind of helping him figure out how to take on the princely challenges. Ended up kind of working itself out.
I didn't get a lot of laughs out of the whole princely challenges things.
No, wasn't very funny. It was actually kind of, but that's more an action situation, kind of Wakanda-esque.
Kind of bringing the plot along. I thought it was kind of cool, him having the sister teach him, and they actually kind of get along through it. It wasn't terrible.
Yep. Yeah, I like when Lisa and Leslie Jones' character basically just started kicking it like Queen's chicks would. You know what I'm saying? Just singing Humpty Dance, oddly enough. No, they were doing the butt.
Yeah, we're singing a Humpty Dance.
Okay.
I feel like Leslie Jones was a bright spot in the movie too.
Yeah, she was.
She's so good. Tracy Morgan, fun. Just you know what I'm saying. Like I said, everybody kind of came through. And nobody came through bullshit. You know what I'm saying. Everybody, I think, really tried to perform up to task. Had a good time. I don't think anybody came through on some weak shit. They just may have been poorly. Not as well written for as they could have been, but everybody came through trying to put on the show. What's old girl with the white hair? The comedian,
Linnell.
Linnell, yeah. Even Linnell was kind of funny. You know what I'm saying?
She wasn't used much though. She was
correct.
I would say wasted.
Underused, wasted. Yes, yeah. But I like seeing they pulled all their black comedian friends into this shit. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy. I it's so much to have fun with. Like I said, it was a really a fine movie.
I felt like the restaurant scene was just kind of whatever.
Why am I not picturing the restaurant scene?
When he met up with I don't know that dude's name. Oh god,
At McDowell's.
it was like
okay. When he was back there mopping.
yeah.
It was. I think that was just like, let me make sure I give shit. What is my man John Amos some screen time? You know what I'm saying? Let's give Mr. McDowell some time. And
That was the first time I'd seen Louis Anderson in like 15 years, maybe.
I thought that guy was done after he got accused of sexual shit.
Louis Anderson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he forced himself on some young men.
That's not what happened, actually. Sort of.
Sorry.
No. Because the dude tried to blackmail him because Louis Anderson wasn't out.
Hadn't come out yet.
Oh,
And then the dude was like, well, I'm going to... he's like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to come out myself. And Louis Anderson has been on... what's he called? Pickles? What's the... on FXX. He's been playing the mother.
He played the mom. Yeah.
Oh, I do remember seeing a commercial for that.
Yeah.
But...
Oh, wow. He's 68 years old.
Yeah.
Well,
Shit, all of them about that age. You know what I'm saying? So...
oh, that's funny that they did bring him back. I was surprised to see Louis Anderson.
Yeah.
Same. But it was good. They gave him a nice... And these some old, like I said, old comedian friends who've been together forever.
I just wish Sam Jackson was in it.
I mean, what you would have did to bring him, like, try to rob something still again?
He could have owned the McDowell's in New York. That would have been funny.
True.
I'm not gonna be punching up this shit.
But you're right. That scene was it was just you could have cut that scene easily, and it wouldn't have been a loss.
It's two things that happened in that scene, though. You guys are right about the John Amos, but that was the first time they mentioned the mom too.
Oh yeah,
which was weird that they didn't mention her before that.
Yeah,
This just made it all the more weirder that they didn't mention her
sooner
at all up until that point. Yeah.
Oh, damn, yeah. John Amos is 81 years old.
Yeah. He was an actor in the, of course, in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? My man been doing it for like ever.
Good times.
Anytime you need a payment.
Anytime you need a friend.
Let's see. I feel like it was dumb seeing the Reverend back up there. Because nothing's going to be better than he helped Gilligan get off that island. On the first one. Nothing's going to beat that. So I'm saying it's kind of a waste. Good to see Arsenio out there doing the damn thing, but like I said, nowhere near.
What didn't help the movie is it kept reminding you like
how
here's
good
this
the first
better
one
movie
was.
that you could be watching. Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
A lot of flashbacks and like straight up just replaying scenes.
Yes, exactly.
That you didn't have to replay the scene.
I have to say though, Eddie Murphy is like my personal reinforcement for Black Don't Crack because he just turned 60, and to me, in my mind, that motherfucker's like 45.
Yeah. He's held up well over the years. But don't he got like 10 kids?
Yes, 10 or 11.
It's a lot.
Yeah, he got a brood, man. So maybe the kids keep him young. You know.
According to Wikipedia, he has 10 children.
Yeah.
Oh, one more, and he's got a whole baseball lineup. Yeah, just reminding me of a better movie that I could be watching. That didn't help it. Well, I don't know why they felt the need to completely replay scenes from the last movie.
Yeah, just Family Guy-esque cutscenes. Because at this point, this movie is directed more for an audience that may not even know that movie existed. So,
I suppose.
Yeah, so you got to hook them up and kind of show them what this all, I guess, is based on. Let's see. The boy falls in love with a barber. Oh, off the rip, you know what I'm saying? When he comes in there and says, "Ma, it is three women in there talking about they gonna bathe me."
Oh yeah, that was funny.
As soon as I saw that, I knew there was somebody in that water, and I told Vanessa, I was like, "Who gonna come up from underneath that water?" And of course,
I saw that coming. So it didn't get the laugh out of me that she didn't say.
Same. I expected it.
Yeah, but I respect it. Just because, you know what I'm saying, let the women get theirs, you know what I'm saying, comedically wise. As also, I guess, let women get theirs.
Cunnilingus.
And what's the beginning of that word?
Cunning.
Just like what was that? I think what was it in one of the 007 movies? What a cunning linguist you are.
Yeah. I mean, they named one of their movies Octopussy. You can't trust them fools.
She had 8 pussies.
Let's see. As I look at it,
I'm trying to think of stuff that could have been better. I mean, they could have. Yeah, I guess they could have brought back more characters if they gave it more time. It was a short movie. They could have added an extra half hour, cut some shit out that they didn't need, and bring back some more characters we wanted to see. I wanted to know what happened to Slow Goal. I wanted to know what happened to the sister of Lisa's sister.
Oh yeah, shit. Yeah, it was good to see Peaches.
I know Miss Peaches, and I'm the best. All the
DJs want to feel their breasts. Good to see Randy Watson in Sexual Chocolate.
That was real.
That was a lot of build-up.
I mean, you knew what it was right off the rip, but hey, that was still fun. Give it up for Randy Watson. So that was fun to see. You know what I'm saying?
But he actually brought the house down. It wasn't.
It's different than them making fun of him, but also it's good.
Yeah.
That boy good.
Yeah, that is
right.
one of the best parts of the movie.
Yeah. So that a good time with that, man. Can't call it. Most of that movie was filmed down at the Tyler Perry Studios in Georgia. So respect to that.
I guess it just didn't hit like the first one. There's more good about it than bad.
It could not have. It was fine. You know what I'm saying? It was fun. I laughed at a lot of it. Like I said, when it hit it out right out the park. And when it whiffed. It just, you know what I'm saying? So,
like, the first movie was directed by John Landis, which might be one of the greatest directors of all time. And then, like, the guy who directed this time was the guy who did Hustle and Flow. That guy's done some movies, but he's no John Landis.
Is it?
Craig Brewer or something like that?
Oh, I thought it was like Anton Fuqua for whatever reason. But no, that's Training Day.
Yes.
I liked it that the Duke boy was still there. It was the Duke. See what I'm saying? That's a good double callback. That's a callback to 2 movies. And that worked. Oh my God! It was Will Smith.
Like that. I forgot.
It was Will Smith as Aladdin. So it was blueface over blackface was a great gag. Solid joke. You know what I'm saying?
I did laugh at that. It also made me wonder.
Yeah, just what it looked like as you try to picture that.
Well, that and it's like, could he pull it off? Like, is that bad?
I did like that scene. It was Oxycontin, and it was my mom.
Yeah, so that all ended up working itself out. So, again, I generally, truly, I just watched it today. Like I said, sorry, Ted Lasso took precedent, but I truly did enjoy it. I'm not shitty about. I'm not salty off of it. It can't beat the classic, the original, but. There's no way it could have. There's no way it could have. It's 30 years later. Some of them people dead or just old enough to be dead. and so, what is one to do, man? What happened to the Soul Glow Empire, though, man? God,
would it have been better as a rated R movie like the first one?
I mean, you could have saw some titties. And I'm not anti that.
That was a decent amount of fucks in the first one.
Yeah.
That was like, well, the famous scene, fuck you, and fuck you. Who's next? And the whole, when he's screaming out to New York, and somebody says,
fuck you too.
yes, fuck you too.
I wish they would have filmed in New York because I wish they could have gone back into Madison Square Garden. That would have been cool. Like there's certain things, but like I said, that's just me wishing for shit. You know what I'm saying? I just it's dumb luck that we came on a movie. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I wish they would have referenced Wakanda not as like in passing, but like it was an actual country that they had like a treaties with or something like that. But
That would have been nice.
I don't know what kind of license. I don't know what kind of licensing would allow them to do that.
Yeah, it's probably more work than you want to put in for a joke. You know?
I do have to I guess apologize that I was so incensed at first that that the whole premise of the movie goes against the good quality the good qualities of Hakeem. But if I'm going to rate the movie, I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10.
I thought the rating system was skip it, skim it, or stay scrunchy.
Man, that was a week ago. I fucking forgot, Gabe.
You made it up.
I did. I know. I'm gonna go skim it. It's some good parts in it.
Yep.
Yeah, skim it.
Agree. Across the board. That's
the first one's a Stay Crunchy Plus, but this one's a skim.
So thank you for throwing that up there. I'm not planning another movie for next week. If y'all have something in y'all heart and minds, y'all can let me know. I am telling y'all. I am straight up telling y'all. If you can make it happen, somebody who got an Apple device or whatever, you got some connections. Watch Ted Lasso. I tell you, all the listeners. I tell you, my friends. Watch that show. It is well worth it. 10 episodes, about 30 minutes each. So good. So good. We'll tug at your heartstrings sometimes. We'll make you laugh, certainly a lot of other times. Great show. Great show.
Well, it would be nice to pick up one right now and so the viewers can watch it with us before next week. But I honestly can't think of anything.
Yeah. If that wouldn't help us for next week. But if
no, it wouldn't.
You think you got something you want us to watch next week, you know what I'm saying?
Don't torture us. You think of the worst movie ever.
Hit us up on our socials. Give us a holler, and we'll see what we can do for you. Nothing wrong with that at all. Maybe I'll put a poll up on the old Patreon. It's nothing I've used before, but why not? It's a power we have. They will put that to work.
I would say Jailbait if it was on Netflix still.
We talked about that movie. Please go back and find that episode.
Yeah, we did talk about it.
I'm funny. But you know how we do.
How did she accidentally kill her stepfather?
I don't remember. Please don't make me relive
I hear this Melissa McCarthy movie on Netflix is pretty bad.
Yes, I mentioned that last week.
I don't want to watch it because of that. It's only so much time I'm giving motherfuckers, and that's one I'm not bothered with.
I thought that was the whole point of this segment, was to watch bad movies and talk about them.
No.
That's just the way the segment has worked so far.
It does not have to be that. and in fact, maybe we don't settle into that groove.
Oh, has everyone seen The Raid?
The Raid Redemption?
Yeah.
Yeah, I own it.
Never heard of it.
Oh, I literally just bought today. Well, just arrived. They bought it yesterday. Did y'all know Best Buy got same day delivery or next day delivery?
I did not know that.
I mean, like, for nothing. Like, it's just a part of their situation. It was like, oh, you spent this much money, I'll bring it to you tomorrow. And they do. A weird-ass van showed up and Best Buy put it on my porch. Anyway, I bought the Fast and Furious collection 4K set. I want the trailer for the new one got me like, oh, bitch, I'm in. So I was like, we got to watch the rest of them. And my kid loves cars. So when it came today, I said, oh, I go, this is a present for you and me. We're going to watch all the Fast Furious movies. And he was like, let's go. And I'm like, good.
And
I've done well as a father.
And he was like, Bow's back.
Those movies are guilty pleasures.
I have not seen any of them. So I'm going to run through them, and I'm going to see what I think. So there you go. You know how it is. If I got a code, I'll put it on the movies anywhere, and y'all got access to that. So we can watch the Fast and Furious movies. Act a fool.
Too fast for y'all, man.
But you know how we get down. We gonna slide on over to the mean streets of Reddit and see if some of these fools is assholes and or not the asshole. Each week we go to Reddit, to the subreddit "Am I the Asshole?" We grab a selection of possible and potential of stories to read, and we decide if those people actually were flipping assholes.
And that word is law.
Yeah, I like to think so. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 potential candidates this week. If I have that many,
let me put on both earphones.
It's because they're mediocre this week. I don't think we got a lot. So if I had to hit you with a bunch, it's a quantity situation, not a quality.
Oh, okay.
Am I the asshole for not telling my former best friend that I'm married?
Okay.
Am I the asshole for telling my manager it's not my problem if nobody can do my job? Am I the asshole for my reaction to an extreme couponer at my store? Or couponer, don't want to offend. Am I the asshole for keeping my baby's name secret until birth?
No, it's not nobody's fucking business.
Am I the asshole? Wedding cost me 14-year friendship. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter she's not bisexual?
Probably.
Am I the asshole for coming out when I knew what the reaction would be?
Probably not.
Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend to delete a video she posted of me without permission?
That one's the least cut and dry, I would say, of the last, couple headlines you read.
I'm just wondering how that person's not an asshole for telling somebody what their sexuality is.
Then those are the two.
Oh, I want to hear the coupon one. But, you know.
Actually, yeah.
Well, fuck it, man. Am I the asshole for my reaction to an extreme couponer at my store? Couponer? It's yours to choose. I, 18 female, am a cashier at a grocery store in my town. This afternoon, we had a large group of people come in together. Turns out they were extreme couponing. For anyone unaware of this, it's basically people who clip coupons and shop for a shit ton of groceries, and they hope to pay as little as possible. We see couponers all the time, but I've never seen anyone go crazy as this family did. So basically, the mom had hundreds of coupons, and she didn't bring any money because she thought if she didn't bring money, it would encourage her to do her best and get her groceries for free. Her family stayed by the cart corral while she shopped, and every time she needed a new cart, they'd give her one.
Jesus Christ!
And take her full cart. Eventually, she finished shopping, and she had about 6 carts of stuff. My manager shut my lane down and helped me bag, and then we started ringing. As we get to the end, I'm ringing in the coupons, and when I get an error message on my screen that says, my POS reached the maximum number of coupons for the transaction. So, my manager voided the transaction, and we started again, and tried to keep each group items together, but we kept having the issue with the coupons. We even tried multiple transactions, but my store only had 5 registers, and there were people waiting to check out, and we couldn't get the coupons to go through properly. So the lady just decided she didn't want to get anything after all, and wouldn't be buying anything in her carts. Her total after tax, before coupons, was $789.78. There were roughly 500 items listed on her receipt per diem. And her stuff wasn't just in carts. She was also purchasing flats of soda, big bags of dog food on rolling carts, flats of canned food. And the rule at my store is if a customer decides not to buy something at the register, then the cashier has to put it all back before they can go home. I had been at work since 5 a.m. and I was scheduled to leave at noon. And because I had to put everything back, I didn't get off work until about 30 minutes ago. She had taken 3 hours to shop herself. Anyway, when she said she wasn't going to buy anything, after I had a visceral reaction and said to her, "Are you fucking serious? I have to put all this back myself." I should add that she left the store in shambles. The customer started bitching, so did her group. My manager got in my face. I think the phrase "lazy brat" got thrown around. My coworkers have my back, but my mom and dad were all, "You took a job at a grocery store. You should expect stuff like this to happen. Your reaction was out of line." Am I the asshole? This is one where I'm going to say she is technically the asshole.
If there's got to be an asshole in a situation,
Yes.
I guess it would be her.
Yeah.
And they're right. She took the job, and like some shitty kinks come with customer service. I fucking had to deal with some bullshit customer service shit.
I'm not gonna rub that shit in somebody's face. You took the job, so you know it's gonna be shitty. No, that's not what. No one expects their gig to be shitty.
All right. Well, not that it would be shitty, but like
you expect some ups and downs.
Yeah, you see, sometimes there's ups, sometimes there's downs, and that was a down.
It's way down.
I don't know what the ups are. Pay.
Yeah,
a union job in most situations. If it's a good grocery store that's doing what you got to do, you know what I'm saying. So union benefits and so forth.
yeah. I wanted to hear that because I've always been fascinated with extreme couponers. We used to work with one, and like she used to tell me she had a what they called not fairies but angels, and in different states where when we get those free coupon books in the mail, like those are regional, but most of the time those products are national. And she said they'll go to apartment buildings where they have the mail just sitting there and take all those coupons, and she said the angels would give them $1 a piece for those things. But it's fascinating to me. The first time I think I'll never forget. It was a bag of chips, and I had a coupon for it, and it just happened to be a double coupon day at Dave's on West 25th, and I got the chip for 9 cents. I thought I was balling out, man. I was like, man, that feel good.
Vanessa's sister used to do it back in the day before she was fully a nurse. She used to do it and was pretty good at it. She come through with all wild amounts of detergent and toilet paper and shit like that, and so forth. So
I used to love watching that show.
Oh yeah, there was a show about that, wasn't
Extreme
there?
couponing.
Extreme couponing.
Yeah, that show probably inspired too many people to go do that shit.
Yeah, I just remember
and probably what happened is stores got hip and put limits on the amount of coupons you can use at one time, which sucks.
Yeah.
Well, even during that show, they said that some stores limited how many coupons you could use per transaction, per item, and all that. So they'd go specifically to the stores that they knew would allow them to do that.
Okay. So you just gotta know how to work the magic.
I just
in the comments here, not the asshole. The customer didn't bring any money to a store. If the customer is not planning on paying for anything, why should they be treated as a customer? Hard disagree on that particular one right there. That's unnecessary.
Also, why is the customer sharing that shit?
Yeah,
I wouldn't tell.
How the fuck am I supposed
that.
to know you ain't bringing no money? Also, you clearly were coming with the intent to use your coupons and walk out of here spending as little money as possible. You didn't have $800 to spend, and we know it, and it's okay. Also, I would think it'd be real fucked up if they made that one cat. Well, I guess they did make her put all that shit back up. That's not cool. In a situation like that, that is a team effort. Let's all help.
Some people should have chipped in on that one.
Yeah, that's poor management. So,
manager's
uncool.
the asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Yeah. Someone's an asshole. Is that manager?
Fair enough. That is the asshole in this situation. We'll leave that one be.
Fuck you, Jim.
The one that Box chose was
Jim, the manager.
Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend to delete a video she posted of me without permission? My girlfriend uses TikTok. I don't use social media a lot, so I have no idea about it or any of the trends on the app. My girlfriend apparently took a video of me sleeping in her bed while she's sitting on the edge of the bed.
Was he messing with her head?
I didn't know until she sent me a link to the video. She's laughing and saying, "Ha babe, you're going to hate me for this." Basically, she has her mouth covered, and there's a song playing in the background about a dude coming prematurely during sex. Something like, "How you nut when you only put the tip in. 60 seconds had him gone. That's a quick minute." And she has a caption on the video that's saying, "Sing it if you're going for a hot girl summer." She pans the camera over to me sleeping. I got really upset by it and got into an argument because I felt like it was really rude, disrespectful, and like she's making a joke out of me. It pisses me off. She got mad and told me that it's just a trend and that everyone on TikTok is doing it. But she did delete the video. She thinks I'm overreacting and says that there's no offense in the video. But I feel otherwise. I don't know whether or not I'm being a dick and overreacting.
That song really takes a shot at the pride, a song I didn't know existed until just now.
Correct. I don't post pictures of my partner without showing them to her first and being like, is this cool? And I asked her to do the same for me. She does not. Oftentimes I would see my fat ass belly in a video, like, my fat ass belly in that video. What the fuck is you doing? But it is a level of respect I give to her. And I'm not trying to say she doesn't give me respect in return, but I'm saying oftentimes, like I said, I will see my fat ass belly in the video. You too could see it if you watch it. If you were on her TikTok, she has a TikTok for the dog. I don't have TikTok. And oftentimes I think about making a TikTok to watch TikToks because they seem so funny. But they seem to show up just about everywhere anyway. You know what I'm saying? People put them on Instagram and on Twitter. So I think I do okay enough to catch the funny ones.
I installed it a couple months back because there was one that I was trying to watch. I think it was like something to do with like a cat walking down a pier or something. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to see if they had other videos like that. So I installed it to check their profile out. And then I ended up keeping it and like, I kind of like it now. Like, that's where I found, S. Johnson voiceovers and some other stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, fuck with it. I like, nigga, if you like it, I love it. That's enough for me right there.
I mean, like, think of all the videos I've sent you guys. Like, I would like to think, for the most part, they're pretty solid.
Yeah, surely. No, I don't think this person's an asshole. I also don't think his girlfriend's an asshole per se. Just kind of uncool. You know what I'm saying? Party foul. Like, don't make jokes about me coming too soon or some shit and putting that shit on the internet. No.
Some of the shit that people put up there now is kind of ridiculous to me. Like, this one like couple, they have like a couple's TikTok where they pull pranks on each other and shit. Like, to me, that seems like a stupid ass thing to do in your relationship is to pull hurtful pranks on each other and then post it on the internet like every day.
We used the kids years ago watched this channel with this couple used to prank each other, and like they blew up. They were up to like 8 million YouTube followers at the time. And when they broke up, my man's ended up. I think, because they broke up. I want to say my man kept the YouTube channel, but they had at that point they'd been so good they made a second one. So he gave her the other channel, and like he went off to LA and started directing shit. He makes like music videos and stuff now. He just films shit, and I think she kept the other channel and when last I checked, she still had it going strong. And she's a lovely lady, you know what I'm saying, and so forth. So it's like it helps, you know what I'm saying. Pretty people just get more followers and shit. It's real out there. We know it. We understand it. It's no disrespect to anybody. It's just the truth. So. That prank shit, I've told y'all before, man. And if you don't know, listeners, this is some shit I've lived by. The motherfucker who shoved cake in their face at their wedding, so gonna get a divorce.
Yeah, I just thought about that.
Don't do that shit. Don't do that shit. If you getting married, don't shove cake in your spouse's face, fucking up their dress or fucking up their tux.
They booed us for that. They booed us for not shoving cake in each other's face.
You know who's not divorced? My man and his wife. Because they took care of each other, fed each other cake.
So far, so good.
They fed each other cake lovingly. It was nice. It was a good time. And we keep a motherfucking moving.
And I hate to waste food.
Trust.
Do you gotta feed each other cake? I mean... Can I just eat my cake?
That is a bit of a tradition, but like I said, this bullshit. Like I said, guess who had cake shoved in his face? The divorced guy. I'm just saying.
Did you my sister and her husband monetized it.
Go on.
So they had that reception like back in August, like 2 years ago now, before the wedding, because like some people couldn't come for some reason or something. And so what they did was they set up 2 boxes, and whichever box had more money, that part of like that husband or wife, whichever, got a cupcake shoved in their face. So it was like a way of getting a little money out of like the
There you go. That is smart. And that's a team effort, you know what I'm saying? Basically they paid for some comedy at that point. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, and it ended up being like everyone paid to have my sister get the cupcake shoved down her face. Yeah. She got a smear, and then she turned around and shoved it into my brother-in-law's face.
So, yeah, just about everybody and every time I've seen that occur has been divorced. It does not work out because it's just. I feel like does it start there? Probably not, but seems to have a habit of ending there, and so. Yeah, don't do that shit at your wedding, okay? Just trust your boy here. I don't know. Let me give you one comment out of this. Yeah, that isn't even something that happens in our sexual relationship. I'm so confused. She claimed it was just a joke and that everyone is using the song for a trend, but I checked and I didn't find one video using the same song. Either way, I think you're right, and she made a shitty joke at my expense. That's the
didn't Dave Chappelle it and say like, I don't come early, I come when I come.
This person says, not the asshole. I don't really know much about TikTok either, but that's not really relevant. She should have asked your permission to take the video, regardless of whether she was actually trying to shame you or just use you as her model for her video. I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't ask because she expected you to say no. Also, just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean she needs to as well, or at least finding a willing participant she can film. Basic common courtesy, in my opinion. Again, I'm not saying, oh, girl's an asshole.
She can't be a premature ejaculator.
I'm still not calling her asshole. It's
kind of asshole-ish.
But it's not. It's just nonsense. You feel me? And she deleted the video. He asked her to delete it. She did. That's it. We've come to terms.
And you know what?
And we move on.
I don't think they've never really defined the term premature ejaculator. I think that would be like any time before having sex you come. Because I feel like any time you go in to the time it ends, you should expect that could end any time.
I agree. There's no statute of limitations on how long you're expected to be in there. Premature means it hasn't happened yet.
And then, like, you get criticized when you got your friend in the van in the driveway saying, come on, you got to get out of here. You got 10 more seconds. Like, that's looked down. That's frowned upon. I don't get society.
I would think that, like, the lady would take it as a compliment that the man thought it was so good that, like, he just couldn't control himself.
They never.
Last one. Am I the asshole?
I was thinking it. You said it.
Am I the asshole for telling my daughter she's not bisexual? I know this sounds bad, but hopefully with some background, you'll see where I'm coming from.
I doubt it.
My
I'm
49 female daughter, Kate, is 19, and I love her very much. We have a very close relationship. Kate has always been very feminine and has had crushes on boys since she was in kindergarten. When Kate was 13, she was really into reading young adult books, which often had gay main characters. Kate asked me one day, hypothetically, if I told you I was gay, what would you say? I told Kate I would say that she thinks that because of the book she's reading. Kate dropped the subject after that and went on to have a typical female teenagehood. I only remember that conversation after what happened today. Kate came to me this morning as I was about to start work and told me, I just want you to know I'm bisexual. And in case I have a girlfriend in the future, I want you to be prepared. I replied, I know you. You're not bisexual. I want you to know that I'm not mad at you for thinking that you are. It's easy to get confused with all this stuff on the internet. We can talk about it later. She left the room abruptly after I said that, and we haven't talked since. I've seen her in her room and in the kitchen, and she doesn't seem upset, just a bit quiet. She never had a relationship, so how could she know she's bisexual? I knew many gay men and lesbian women in college, and I am friends with people of various sexual orientations, so I know my daughter is not like them. That sounds bigoted, but I don't mean it that way. I just know my daughter well and know she can easily be confused by the influences online. My daughter and I have talked about men often and how she wishes to have a boyfriend. Kate also has expressed wanting children, and how she wants to have a home birth eventually, so she doesn't mean to adopt. Nothing indicates that my daughter would be happily married to a woman. I don't want to be one of those terrible homophobic parents.
But you are.
Newsflash. And of course, I wouldn't kick Kate out even if she remains adamant about her new sexuality.
That's a low bar, lady.
I don't know how I will help her see that she really isn't bisexual without coming across as a bad person. But I want to help her. It seems that with her generation, there's so much pressure to be something different than the norm, and I want my daughter to accept that it's fine to be vanilla, and you don't have to label yourself as something you're not to get attention from your peers. I'm afraid she might think I'm an asshole because of how I feel, so I'm hoping this subreddit can judge me fairly. Edit 1. From just the first comment, I can tell the consensus is I'm the asshole. I may be wrong on this one issue, but it doesn't need to ruin my relationship with my daughter. Her father passed away when she was 10, and we have been very close since and helped each other through some hard times. I love and appreciate my daughter, and I know she loves and appreciates me. She tells me so. I will talk to her. Edit 2. So we talked. I thank everyone who was constructive and gave me a different perspective. I told her I'm sorry for telling her what she is. I said she can date who she wants, and I will support her as long as it's a healthy relationship. She thanked me and said she knows I'm old and don't really get it, but nothing has to change. I asked her if she ever had a girlfriend, and she said no, but she kissed a girl. I told her I also kissed a few.
And she liked it.
I also kissed a few of my friends in college.
Cherry chapstick.
So we had a nice chat about it, I think. I won't pretend my opinion has totally changed about taking advice from but taking advice from the comments, I'm not going to tell her that, and I think what I think doesn't really matter. One of the comments mentioned how one day at a time, which I've heard about, so I'm going to check it out, and might learn something new. One day at a time they must be talking about the show.
Oh, the show.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought she was just to take it one day. Okay.
One big bright red box here. You know how that comes up every now and again when somebody has come in here and dropped the goddamn hammer. Says, you're the asshole. Exposure to information does confuse people, but this could be a big identity moment for her, and you kind of ruined it. She never had a relationship, so how could she know she's bisexual? I knew I was straight before I dated any girls, women, bruh. I knew many gay men and lesbian women in college, and I am friends with people of various sexual orientations, so I know my daughter's not like them. I know some men who you could look at, and they are like the epitome of a Chad and are 100% gay. And I know very effeminate men who are 100% straight. Bruh, stop buying into stereotypes. Kate also has expressed wanting children and how she wants to have a home birth eventually, so she doesn't mean to adopt. Bi and lesbian women can do this. There are procedures they can undergo at, sperm banks, etc. Also, by your own logic, how could she know she wants to give birth if she hasn't even done it yet? See how stupid that sounds? You're the asshole. Big time. Go apologize.
Go apologize.
Fuck Jay-Z.
Yeah, that shit should have had fucking Nas playing underneath it. Boom. Fuck Jay-Z.
This lady before the edits, and I think she's had to come to Jesus moment with these edits. She was being an asshole.
Like
it got progressively worse too. I was like, okay, when's T gonna stop reading so I call this bitch an asshole?
Of everyone we read tonight, that is the one where it is definitive. Yes, you're the asshole.
Credit to her though for taking constructive criticism.
Correct. Growing as a person.
Yes.
Taking an understanding, trying to figure some things out. Respect. I will put some respect on her name.
I did say pre-edits.
So,
but yeah, she got like, wow.
Like everything you were saying, I'm like, this is the worst shit ever. This person thinks they woke and they think they know something. They just don't know any goddamn thing. So, you're an asshole, but you're an asshole who's trying to mend themselves and get better about some things. So we allow for that and we keep it motherfucking moving.
I will add though, and this is just a personal thing, because I don't have any like real experience with being in that situation. I have often wondered if like modern culture has affected anyone's perception of themselves in that kind of way, like questioning, like thinking they're one thing, but like an actual media influence of it. I'm not saying that all these people think like that or anything, but I was wondering, because everyone's so much more connected with different ideas and things now because of the internet, that I wondered if like it kind of like sparked things more than they would back in the day when it wasn't as widely known.
I'm not trying to argue that point. I can see what you're saying, but as it turns out, a lot of this has just been around forever, and there's a long history of it, like longer than people know. A lot of times, it's just society at that point in time was frowned upon it in a way that it couldn't be out there. And now it seems like everybody can be a little more out there, and I think that's helpful. I think it's kind of nice to be able to be whatever you are. You know what I'm saying? Love who you love, be who you want to be.
Yeah, like before,
Dip your cookies
you
however
could
you want
get
to dip
killed
them.
about it. That's true.
Yeah. Coming out.
Well, some people still are.
Well, yeah, for sure, and indeed. But in some countries, laws are stern about that kind of shit and says that you will be killed or at least or imprisoned because of it. So we ain't there quite yet.
Yeah, I mean, like you know what I meant though. Like,
I do.
like,
I hear you. I truly I do.
No, I hear
Kind
you.
of like in the same way, like if you watch like a kung fu movie and you think you can do kung fu, you know, you watch like two dudes making out, and you're like, I wonder if I could do that.
But also, I feel like if your brain poses that question, then perhaps that's a question your brain has had all along, and maybe that's something that's something you do need to look into. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So
I still haven't seen enough information to convince me a dick isn't ugly.
I mean, I watched a lot of adult cinema, and I don't ever think dicks are attractive. But I've heard many women say they love looking at dicks. So sure thing.
They seem to get mad about all the pictures that we get sent out. So.
See, they love dicks they want to see. They don't want just yeah.
You think so?
I wouldn't mind an unsolicited vagina on my.
You think that until the wrong one lands.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, like, I never really got mad at random titties.
I don't like every titty I've ever seen.
I didn't say I liked them all, but I never got, like, offended.
You looking at them.
I appreciate the effort.
This is a simple thank you for sharing that titty.
Just imagine if you just got random edible arrangements at your house every day. Like, how am I going to eat all these goddamn pineapples and strawberries? I don't want that many. It might be a good thing, but if you got one just randomly, like, I already got fruit in the fridge. What am I supposed to do? It might be lovely to one person, but to another person, it's just not lovely.
Also, like, I guess I can consider the source. Like, if I got it from a coworker, I'm like, oh, that's going to be an awkward day on Monday,
or a good time.
No, awkward. I am a married man.
You guys don't have what's those called, a hall pass?
I can't stop a dick coming to me.
Is the cake smashing thing only for the ceremony, or like could you change the rules now and like go in the bedroom with like a cheesecake and just boom?
Well, if the cheesecake makes it from the kitchen to the bedroom without me eating it, I don't know. I like me cheesecake.
Could you imagine if that's what society becomes? Like, that's how we tell each other we want divorce? We just go smash, like, cake in someone's face? Like, I want a divorce, bitch.
I kind of feel
chocolate cake to the eye.
It's not you, it's me.
Yeah. Messing over cheesecake is highly disrespectful. Just some regular-ass giant eagle cake, yeah.
Oh, man, if I really was angry and hated that person now, I'd go get that, like, shitty Walmart cake with, like, that, like, fluff frosting and shit.
Yeah, you know you can get can get those cakes for free. Or it can be
pie in their face,
it
like
could be a life
Stooges
hack.
or something.
Maybe just do shaving cream if you don't like them. But if you want a free cake, you tell them, "Oh, my son is turning 1. Can we get a smash cake?" And you just get a whole cake to yourself, baby. Did you know that?
I didn't know that they gave them free.
And it's a whole ass cake.
Life hack. Smash cake, a life hack. I like it.
Before I wrap it up, just a quick little bit of a game chat because I played a game that I really fucked with, so I want to show love to Rain on Your Parade. Rain on Your Parade is available on I think everywhere, but if you have Xbox Game Pass, you can go play it right now for free. Rain on Your Parade is dumb. You play a rain cloud who is your mission is to go rain on people and fuck up their situation. But it has a bunch of cool little. It's just neat. You'd have to see it. I'd tell you to go watch some videos of it. And if you can play it, play it. It's a great game. Have a good time. Ta-da. This is a show. You know what the deal is. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share the show wherever possible. Ring the bell and all that good shit. Give us some thumbs up over on YouTube. We streamed this past Sunday on Twitch. The goal is to stream again this Sunday, probably around 5 p.m. We're going to stream... we're going to stream actually Saturday. We're going to stream the new Resident Evil demo that's only available on PlayStation 5. The PlayStation is actually sitting right here on my desk connected to the streaming equipment. So we're actually going to stream Saturday this week to stream that demo. So you guys will get to see that. We had a good show. We had about 11 or 12 people show up for the Sunday stream, and a lot of chatting, a lot of interaction. So it actually went pretty good. You want to get down with us on Twitch? We be over there, man. I'll try to post it on our Twitter when we are up on Twitch.
I actually used my Xbox the other day.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh, I saw a Box pop on Xbox a couple of times. Box, what were you doing on the Xbox?
I was playing Call of Duty.
This motherfucker played a video game. I thought you was watching Peacock. I didn't go check. I was like...
No, I don't have Peacock anymore. I canceled it.
Fair enough. Right on. Congrats to you for gaming. The new map went up today.
Yeah, I'm going to install the update during work today, or, after I wake up in the morning.
I hear you.
It is the new day.
Nice. If you want to support the show financially and have a few bucks to toss our way, you can join our Patreon, where members at the $5 and above tier get extra content each month. And actually, I end up giving people episode 224, The Shaming of Judy, to all tiers of Patreon the other day. So if you put $1 on, you got to go listen to an old school episode of the show where it is 224, The Shaming of Judy. So you can go listen to that if you're just any level of patron. You can hear an old school show where the Podfather here hosted the entire show and did a damn fine job, I might add.
Oh, thank you.
We also have merch available over on tpublic.com/user/stage Crunchy and Milk, all one word. Sweatshirts, hoodies, stickers, mugs, anything you can think of. That store is actually jam-packed, and we have 4 designs up over there currently. Like I said, got to holler at some people about getting some new designs in. If you think you have some ideas, holler at us. We'll certainly take care of it. Feel free to give us a call at 216-302-8763. That's 216-302-8-POD. We'd certainly love to hear from you. That is Tatum 216.
In the building.
Slushbox 2099.
Yeah, I came.
Twice.
That's the real ODP.
Don't be an asshole.
For real.
Well, actually, you got to be an asshole, or you give us nothing. You got no material to close out the show with. Never mind.
Yeah, fair enough.
I rescind that advice.
Or nowhere to poop. This comes out of your nose and eyes.
You've just been podcast to it. I know you loved it. Peace.
Recording has stopped.
Hey, what happened to you? You used to be beautiful.